Hey Sarthak, so one of my friends has been trying to change jobs recently, and with his interview processes and stuff, we've realized that finding a job in this job market and online dating are pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do elaborate.
I mean, because you're trying to chase people who are not interested in you, and there's a very high chance you're gonna get ghosted.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, start life, I guess.
Yeah, let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Version Control. I'm Soumya. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. I have years of experience in cloud networking, and with me is...
I'm Sarthak. I'm also a software engineer, but in Amazon. I work in orchestration. And you just hit 5 years in experience. How does that feel?
Oh, yeah. it feels good. A lot of my colleagues have been wishing me, time flies, and, it probably feels like you've just started. No, it doesn't.
It feels like a long journey.
It feels like a long journey.
So, before we start, maybe we take half a minute to do this. How do you feel? How do you look back on the 5 years? Was it fun? Was it exciting? Was it boring?
I think it was exciting. To quote one of the best lyricists of all times, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this.
That is not a Lana Del Rey lyric.
That's a Taylor Swift.
But you said the best lyricist. That's Lana Del Rey.
No, it's Taylor Swift.
That'll be another episode. But let's do this episode now.
Yeah, somebody in the comments is gonna go, what's the name of Neha Kakkar? Somebody's gonna go Tony Kakkar in the comments.
Okay. Enough with the singing jokes now. Alright, let's get started. We don't want this video to be long like the others.
I agree. Yeah. Okay,
Hmm.
so today we're doing a random opinion generator episode, right?
Yeah.
We'll keep doing this. We wanted to take a break from long topics, and today's episode is going to be a different format for the viewers, right?
Okay.
We have the jar of opinions, and in it we have multiple topics that we have just randomly listened to around over the past few
So just tech
months
topics.
or so.
Anything and everything tech.
Anything and everything tech, right? And we go one by one. We pick and we basically have a timer. One of us talks about it for 1.5 minutes.
The other guy calculates it.
Yeah, the other guy calculates it, and then we maybe discuss it for another minute or so, right?
Okay.
And then we move on.
So how hard is this deadline? Do we have to finish in 1.5 minutes?
I mean, it's giving me flashback to when I used to participate in debate competitions in school. You had bell 1 which said your overtime and bell 2.
Okay, so let's do that.
Yeah.
Once it hits 1 minute, the other guy will maybe salute or whatever. I don't know. Has to signal the other guy. Maybe he'll do this.
Yeah.
That there's only 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be our first bell.
Yeah, and after 30 seconds, you just tell the other person
Interrupt.
to shut up, I guess.
Yeah, interrupt. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Let's.
So who's going first?
I mean, that's a tough one, but rock, paper, scissors?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I always lose.
I know.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. See, I told you I'll lose. Okay.
So you're picking first.
Yeah, let me
give this a good mix.
I hope I get an easy one. So you're timing me for this one?
Yes.
Let me pick this one.
Show it to the camera so that they know.
I'm not cheating.
Yes.
I'm not making up a topic.
Yes. Show it to me also because I don't trust you.
It is AI overtaking jobs.
Oh.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah, 1.5 minutes is gonna be very less for this topic because I have a lot of opinion on this topic. Primarily, I feel AI overtaking jobs is something that is kind of blown out of context as of today. We are very far from it, but at a point, I do believe that there will be cases where AI is able to replace some of the jobs that we have right now. Specifically starting with ones that are very SOP based, where a margin of error is a bit okay. You can have a few errors that AI can have, right? And eventually I do see those jobs being replaced. But I do want to quote one thing here, and this is coming from the CEO of Netflix. I recently watched an interview of him where he spoke about how AI is going to change industries. He was speaking from the idea of how it's going to change screenwriters industry, but I believe he definitely had a point, which was basically, I think that what kind of AI we make is going to be very, very crucial in the coming years. AI should actually enable us to enable humans to do more work, but it should not be built with the fact to replace humans at work, because it cannot function without data going into it, which is generated by humans. So you should not actually look to replace that original source. That's it. I let go of the rest of my time.
Oh, wow. Oh, to speak in like total corporate terms, let me give you your 15 seconds back.
Yeah, so only 15 seconds were left.
Yeah.
I saw the 1 minute signal, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well done. You actually were under time. So I do agree with your statement of like, you always need human intervention with training AI models and everything. So obviously it's going to make life easier. It's going to maybe replace some of the jobs, but not everything. It cannot do everything, right?
Yeah.
It always needs human input.
Yeah, and I think the fact about what kind of AI we are making really resonates with me. Like, we should make AI product managers out there should actually be thinking from the point of view, how does this enable humans more rather than replace them? That this is a very recent take from me also. I never believed in this, but if you haven't watched that interview, maybe I can link it. It's an interview in the podcast called The Interview. Okay, I think they get a lot of famous people to come there. So this was, I think, one of the recent episodes. Pretty good. Yeah. All right. Next topic.
My turn?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna shake it a little bit, no?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a Shaktiman shake. Okay, here you go. I'm starting the timer. Oh wait, okay.
I haven't
Sorry.
even picked a topic yet.
Yeah.
Please be a good one. Okay. Let's see what it is. It is a topic very close to me.
Oh wow, that feels scripted at this point.
But it's not. I swear it's not.
Show me the paper fold that you used to pick out.
I didn't know.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Wait.
Either way. So the topic is women in tech.
Let me start the timer.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Boy, I feel really overwhelmed now. Women in tech, right? It's something that I feel is a term that's taken for granted these days, because people are like, every company is pushing for diversity. But I do feel that there are micro biases and, just very normal things that we as an industry need to pay attention to. One is obviously creating opportunities for, diversity to come in, which I think a lot of companies are doing right now, which is amazing. But there are like tiny biases. I'll give you an example. As a woman, as a female, or as a minority in a room, right? You're generally the soft-spoken one in the room. You're generally, you don't really voice your opinions well. So I remember my early days in meetings, I would always get cut off by like other people speaking to me, and people just assuming that I'm in HR and I'm not an engineer, right? So those kind of biases can really hurt somebody's confidence when they're just starting out, right? So I would, in these 1.5 minutes, I would probably just say that people just need to be more conscious of, also listening to all voices in the room and not just the majority.
I see.
Yeah.
So, what do you? Okay, you're giving up this of your time.
Yeah. I think
okay.
it was.
I mean, you had like less than 10 seconds
Yeah.
left. Yeah. So, what do you think of the argument that? Oh wow, I did not know that this iPad does this. It was giving an alarm that hey, 1 minute 30 seconds is over. Okay. So, my question.
Yeah.
What do you think of the argument that people have is that sometimes people who are successful are not selected because companies are pushing for this diversity hiring, and I think that becomes a very good, not a very good I would say, but a very strong counterpoint that comes from people who are not supportive of this. So do you have an answer for that?
So I think I do understand where the point and where that point of view is coming from, right? I do see the perspective, but I think the bigger problem is that, like, as of today, if you see women, and not just women, actually any diversity being hired, right? You would see that at the lower level where you try to bring in diversity hires, it's a lot of population, right? But as you grow higher and higher up the ladder, that ratio keeps on decreasing. So at some point you need to create space for these minorities to even reach topmost positions, right? So that they can influence the equality from bottom down. Like, I sincerely search for women in leadership, right? Because there are like just so less of them.
Yeah.
So I think that is what I would say, that you need to at least get to a point where, you know, you have a place of order for these diversity things, so that like we can actually create real impact.
I see. Okay. So I think I kind of agree on that, and I also feel in the end, a lot of people just put everyone in a diversity hire as they're not competent. But I do feel that is not the case.
That is obviously not the case.
I have met a lot of competent people from different backgrounds, different genders. So I think that argument definitely doesn't stand, but I like your answer there too.
And to be honest, I feel like when you give somebody an opportunity they won't have usually gotten, and you bring in through them as diversity, I think they value that opportunity way more. Because for them, they know that even if I got it via diversity, I'm gonna make the most of it, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes you see them working way harder.
Yeah. So that's cool. I think we'll time bar it here because we're in this format, but I think Women in Tech definitely deserves its own topic. So we'll definitely be coming back to it also. Yeah.
Okay.
Shall we move on?
Yeah. I'm gonna give this a good mix.
Yeah. I don't think we have to mix it every time. Probability says it doesn't.
I mean, the kind of topics we're getting, I don't want people to think it's scripted in any sense.
Okay, I took out another one.
Maybe we just wrote down all the interesting topics. Maybe we just wrote all interesting topics.
And you're right.
Yeah.
They don't know what's in the box.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is unexpected, but this is Agile development. Okay. Do you want to start the timer?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I almost forgot. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah. So, first of all, I like to say that Agile development is a very overloaded term in the industry right now. Everybody and their cousin wants to be Agile when they're developing stuff. Even every new manager loves to go down this route. Every engineer who has learned the ways of the world, whenever they learn about Agile, they're just attracted to it. Like, kitna shiny hai, I want to go towards it. So I definitely feel it's an overloaded term, and it works if you build your team to work towards it. You cannot impose it on your team. So that's what I would say to the debate, whether it should actually be, does it work or not, right? And what I mean by that is, if you are a team manager, you cannot just go and implement everything Agile at once on your team if they haven't done it before. You have to do it slowly, build your team towards it, help them on the route, and hopefully in a year or two, you will reach full Agile. So it's like a journey there. Personally, I do believe that a system like this does help. Thanks for that. A system like this does help. It is not a total waste, but it is very easy to get wrong and actually become the biggest hindrance in your project management and not actually be the help that you need. I let go of the rest of my time. See, it's better to let go than, be cut off mid-sentence, no?
Exactly. Yeah, you are so smart.
Okay.
Okay. I do agree that Agile is overloaded, right? What do you think about the argument that, not all kinds of projects and not all kinds of companies can move to a Agile model? Do you agree with that?
I kind of do, actually, because I feel like, and personally I also struggle with this, projects that require a lot of POC and lot of research, I struggle to fit in an Agile system, especially if it is done across multiple engineers, right? So that's where I feel maybe it's my journey with Agile is not complete yet, and if someone has a better way, I'm always open to listen. But that's where I feel currently that Agile kind of becomes a blocker, because when you have a lot of unknowns, Agile doesn't do well with unknowns. For Agile, everything has to be estimated, and you cannot estimate unnowns. What about you?
I agree with that. So I'm in networking. I'm in a field of unknowns, right?
You're debugging a software failure, then you realize the wire is cut.
That never happens, but sure. I mean, I'm in networking, so we also have a lot of unknowns, and most of the time you just cannot go sprint by sprint with like, hey, this is gonna actually get done, and we can add on top of it and those things. I think, at least for my team, we have settled into this semi-agile sort of terminology where, we plan to our best capacities, but that at the end of the day, this is not going to be like the perfect model for our planning. So I think that's where I am at, and same here. I think my journey with Agile is also not complete. I'm still learning, but eventually I think like engineering is a very vast thing. What works for your team, you should just adapt to it, whether it fits in a bucket or not.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Next topic.
Yeah.
How many are we picking?
I thought we thought 3 each.
3 each, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is my second.
Second one. Yeah.
That was your second.
Your timer starts now. Okay, fade.
You did it again.
Yeah. Unnecessary pressure.
Yeah. What is it?
What is
it is wearable tech.
Oh, nice. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
I don't think I need 1.5 minutes to for this because I have very limited opinions about wearable tech. And by wearable tech, I think we do not mean stuff like Apple Watches or Fitbits or those things. I think those things are pretty useful, even though they almost give me a panic attack. Either way. We meant things like Oculus and what happened?
Panic attack? I was just processing that. Okay, I don't want to interrupt you a minute. Go ahead.
No, but it was more like you see your heart rate go up like over 100. It gives me a little bit of panic. But either way, things like Apple Vision Pro and Oculus, right? I think they're very cool techs on their own. They're amazing things to do it. I just don't see the practical use for them, right? Like I'm not going to buy. I think Apple Vision Pro costs what, like 8 lakhs in India or something?
6 to 8 lakhs, yeah.
So why would I spend 8 lakhs on something that I don't see a practical use for? Maybe it's good for entertainment, but I will never really wear it outside and just walk on the street. Because that thing costs 8 lakhs.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I am at with wearable tech. I can let go of the rest of my time.
Okay, I mean you almost completed it. 15 seconds left.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah. The panic attack part aside, which is pretty serious, you should check a doctor or something. Okay. I do not fully agree with the fact that wearable tech does not have a place.
Okay.
I feel like
interesting.
Yeah, the concepts that these tech companies sell when they cry wearable tech actually sound something that if we achieve will be good. For example, I have seen like attempts of Vision Pro being used during surgery to give the doctor live information in his vision while he is performing this is now that as a concept I feel can work and I think if you remember Google Glass back in 2012.
Oh yeah, it used to be like a cardboard.
That was one of the wearable techs came out of Google. They pulled it from consumer market, right? And now it's only available for business markets, for companies, and they are also selling it as something that you can use in construction to visualize and stuff like that. I think that vision has definitely more power, and I guess in a way I agree with your fact that there is no very less consumer possibility right now, apart from entertainment.
When you put it in perspective like that, I do see a lot of real world applications there. But for a thing to be used for consumer and for me, people like you and me to use it in our daily lives, I think the one thing that is like the most there are two things actually. First one being the cost and the second one being they're not comfortable at all, right? For me to wear something like that, it has to feel like maybe glasses.
Yeah, so in the current iteration it's useless. Okay, I mean it's a novelty. You take it for some fun. I think gaming is the only place I'll consider it. If you like those kind of games, jumping through hoops and you have that very famous you slice the boxes to make music kind of. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a very fun game actually. I've played a couple of times. Okay, but that's it. There's no practical use that I can think of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, last one for me.
Yay.
Okay, I'm gonna pick a corner one and see how it is. Oh,
what is it?
It's EdTech, which stands for education tech, I'm assuming. Okay, yeah, all right.
Okay.
Hit the timer.
Okay, start.
Yeah, so I think nobody in this world, or at least in India, didn't know about the boom of EdTech, right? You had the name of one EdTech company on India's jersey, which was Byju's India, right? And almost everyone heard of what happened to Byju's also. Now they're bankrupt. So I think that kind of sums up. If you want to know about EdTech in India, follow Byju's. That kind of sums up what happens in what happened in EdTech in India. I think EdTech in general is a very, very promising industry. Okay, because India in general is getting educated more. It is getting more and more people want that higher education. More and more people want tech, to get into tech. They want to get into other fields which require studying. So edtech is very promising. But it is also happening in a country which is also like, there's a fear of missing out in a lot of parents, and that kind of causes the companies like Byju's to overshadow everything else. So promising industry, if I have to sum up about edtech, great solutions possible. I think it will change the way education pierces in rural areas of India, but we need the right companies to do it and the right tech to go there.
Yeah.
The first wave did not really help. There are some good companies out there, none that I can recall right now, but yeah, that's what I sum it up as.
Pretty good.
Okay, so I have a question for you on this though.
Yeah.
Do you think edtech actually has potential? Like I said, it has potential to change the world. Do you think the tech has a role to play in education?
I mean, with the, how kids are getting digitalized these days. Oh God, why was that word so hard to say? But the way the world is moving, I definitely think tech has a huge place to play in kids' education, right? These kids are growing up with digitalization and tech. I think the best way to grab their attention is through tech, right? So that is how I see it being perceived as. So it has like immense potential, but like you said, I agree with the fact that we need the right companies to do it. We need the right methods to enforce it. So yeah, I think you can do so much, right? Imagine things like wearable tech is also something that you could probably use in education to make things creative for kids. So yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Nice. All right, last one. Let me give it a good shake. So what happens to the rest of the topic? We come back to it in later episode?
I think so.
We should make this a regular thing.
Yep. I would also ask our viewers, I think Random Opinion Generator is a good name, but if you have a better name for us, feel free to leave it in the comments.
I think this is one of those names that describes what it does best. So you don't have to worry about like what to expect.
Okay, let me see. What's our last topic? This one's very close to your heart. It's called work from office.
Oh man, yeah. No comments. But yeah, you can give comments for 1.5 minutes. Ready?
Right, yeah.
Start.
Okay. So 5 years in the industry, right? When I first started my job, I used to be very excited about going to office every day. And then COVID came. And I realized I did not like going to office every day. Because I think the future at least should be hybrid for everybody. And it's not just for me, right? I mean, I realized during COVID, when the world actually had this wave of shifting to remote work, you didn't realize how much you can get done remotely, right? And it helps, it just makes life better for people, I feel, especially like working mothers, right? It makes it easier for you to be there for your kids as well as manage that career for yourself. And the flexibility it offers, not everybody is okay, waking up at 7 in the morning, reaching office by 9. Some people work better in the afternoon. Some people work better in the night. So I do think hybrid is the, middle ground I reach, because there's also downsides to it. I do remember that the 2-3 years people work from home, team morale was lower, right? You didn't bond with your team that well. Oh, wow, that went fast.
No, I missed. It's only 15 seconds.
Okay. So, yeah, you didn't bond with your team well. So, seeing them once in a while obviously is better for, like, your human interaction part. But overall, hybrid is the way to go.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that little fuck up. How do I close this? So, you did speak for 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I just forgot to give you the warning at the right time.
You're just as dumb as it gets.
I was very engrossed in the things you said.
I told you, it's close to your heart.
yeah, that's what it is. I was very, very engrossed, and I mean, I do agree with a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, by the way, since I ruined the last 10 seconds?
No, that's certainly fine. Yeah, I mean, I was saying, like, I think hybrid is the way to go. And by hybrid, I mean, don't make it mandatory for people to come to office, these days. I think a more flexible way to go is, just leave it to the team.
No, but let's say if you do that,
and
everybody's coming on their own time, is it any better than work from home? Because everybody's just, like, if you think of it this way, work from office is to foster in-person collaboration. right, in person. If everybody has their own schedule, and this is something we faced at our side also. We were coming 3 days in office, and everybody was doing their own timing. It felt no different than
working from
home. It
home.
actually felt bad.
Oh, remember
right?
those memes people made as soon as people went back to office after COVID, like traveling 2 hours from home to office just to attend a Teams call in office.
Yeah.
So people were sitting right in front of me.
Exactly. So one thing I'll say though, I really feel for work from office, I feel I can mentor better in
That's
person.
the thing. The human connection part becomes better.
Yeah, because I a lot of times when I'm let's say talking to a junior engineer and we work on complex projects, right? These are not projects that I expect someone to straightforward like understand in one shot if they're fresh out of the university or fresh out in just a year old in experience. So a lot of times I feel like you have to judge the body language and their looks like minor signs to realize how much you're actually penetrating.
Yeah.
It cannot always be a yes or no answer. Sometimes they're afraid to say that, hey, I did not understand this, because they also want to come across as intelligent, right? Like, so I felt I got an advantage in work from office there, but I do agree with a lot of advantages that work from home brings. I think this is definitely an unsolved problem. The thing is, it was never discussed before, but now it is discussed because we had COVID.
Yeah. So I do agree, and if you would have timed it better, I would have made those points as well. Because I do.
No, you couldn't have. We only had 1.5 minutes. I only wasted 10 seconds.
Okay, sure. So, I do agree with the fact that, the human interaction and team bonding and just knowing your colleagues better happens better in person, right? Because you bring the human touch to work. But for those of people who do work remotely, I think it's also kind of like you need to constantly work on yourself, that you still on the call when you go, you ask your colleagues how you are. Like, don't leave the empathetic side out of the picture just because you're working remotely. I think that is something that people can still work on.
I totally agree. Yeah. So that wraps up our episode. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching. If you made it so far, tell us some more topics that we can, include in our next random opinion generator episode, and tell us what you thought of the episode in the comments, and we'll see you next time. And do like, share, and subscribe. Bye.